show with the Fantasy Footballers.
Oh, I got fanned. I should have
hot.
I should have had the hair down.
It was hot.
We could have had the fan blowing like an industrial fan, just luscious locks.
Look,
it's been a while.
if you had to, it has been a while. Welcome to the show after the show. If I had to create a virtual world, for example, and be somebody that I'm not, I would be someone that could sing like that.
Oh.
I'd become.
But he'd look very different.
Yeah, it would look attractive and well kept. Sorry, Mike. Welcome to the show after the show.
You can't win them all.
We have not been. We haven't been doing as many show after the shows. We've been busy with the fantasy football season. It is a give and take, and we apologize for the absence. Today, we wanted to kind of have an overall impression show on Westworld.
Yeah, we've been watching. We are HBO connoisseurs.
Sure, we had our Game of Thrones discussion. So if you're not a Westworld fan, if you haven't watched,
check it out.
If you don't want to be spoiled, turn it off. Say goodbye.
Spoiler
Sayonara.
alerts in case we give them.
So we're just kind of talking in generalities here about the show, different impressions through, I believe, the first 4 or 5 episodes now. And I said this in the car yesterday. I have a hard time with shows that ask more questions than they answer over and over again. That being said, it's the very beginning of a series, and there is margin given for that. But there are a lot of questions, a lot of weird flashbacks, and I'm just find myself not as attached to this show as I am to some of the other HBO shows so far.
I was saying this to my wife as we watched episode 5 last night, was that I think it was around episode 4 or 5 of Stranger Things where I started to kind of dip down and go, there's just too many questions. If I don't start getting answers, I'm not going to enjoy this series. Well, of course, Stranger Things is excellent, awesome, and you should watch it. And they do a great job of answering some of the questions and then making more questions. You can keep asking questions
you
forever,
absolutely can,
so long as you answer some of them.
Yeah, you want intrigue, and the world is unique. I find it interesting to try to connect to characters that are some are human and some are inhuman in the reality of this world.
Yeah, my favorite part.
Like, how would you rate the show so far?
It's a good
I
question.
love it. I love the show, but
No, he wants I want a number.
Yeah.
0 through 10.
Yeah, and 10 is what, Game of Thrones? So
well, then I'll give it an 8.
okay,
I'll give it an 8.
Where would you put
we
it
got
right
room
now?
for improvement.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
I'm like 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep watching it. I just want to see it. I
pretty much
want to
love
start connecting to the show.
high quality production shows.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, Westworld had the advantage for me because they took a 3-month period of my life, which was sitting on a couch playing Red Dead Redemption, which is this show. I was in a virtual world of the Wild West. I could do almost anything that I wanted. I mean, it's a video game. There are certain things that these adults are able to do that you could not do in the video game. But
adults.
but I mean, there's some brutal things you can do in Red Dead Redemption that you're kind of seeing played out. So they already had my intrigue. I was the what's the
You have my
Django.
curiosity.
Yeah, now you have my attention. Yes.
I love the Wild West. I love that
You've
period.
always been a
I love that
Western.
period of history. I love all modern Western movies. I love, I guess, the adventure
How do
of
people
that time period.
How do guests in this park not kill guests?
That's what I want to know.
like
Because it has to do with the guns. And
well,
the
sure,
bullets.
but okay. Here's an X. Whoops.
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Like-
or I mean, this last episode, being choked by a host.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes you wonder how that's what a lot of the questions are for people is like, I turned on a couple of podcasts for Westworld to listen to. There's so many questions that people ask about like the actual, like how do they get on a train and enter the world when it didn't look like they were on a train, and just all those questions that you saw with shows like Lost or, X-Files or those type of intrigue oriented shows. Obviously love Michael Crichton. That's where it came out of, a Michael Crichton movie from, I believe, the 70s. So it's interesting.
You had the scene where, of course, can't remember the character's name, but he's on. He plays one of the brothers in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, the good guy, the white hat.
Yeah, White Hat. We'll call
Sure.
him White Hat
White
because
Hat.
we don't know his name. But his introduction reminded me very much of the old Michael Douglas movie, The Game.
Oh, what a good movie.
Where before you start, they know literally every single thing about you and your psych profile to break everything down so that they feel they can maximize.
You've seen that movie,
everything.
right, Andy? Oh, it's so good. The ending's good.
Yeah. The game is fantastic.
So, anyways.
Well, I want to share one quick thing. My problem with Westworld, this is the whole issue with me. I would love the show would be an 8.5 and not a 7 if I could become emotionally invested in all of the characters, but I can't. I don't.
White Hat's getting closer.
White Hat, the humans, I'm fine. I'm invested in the humans, but the robots, I don't care if they die.
I care about Dolores.
See, I don't.
I do care about Dolores.
I care about the character, but like if she got shot in the head, I wouldn't be like,
well,
I'd be like, okay,
because you know she's coming back.
Because I know she's coming back.
Reboot.
And I had an idea. Yeah. I said to my wife last night when we were watching, I go, I would like this show so much better if part of their story was like Dolores and her memories or whatever. It's because she's like the oldest living robot. And if when they died, they kind of reset and they go back to the beginning. And the reason maybe she's getting these memories is because she's lived this like long continuous life. Then when a robot dies, it would matter to me. I'd be like, no, she's getting close to whatever.
Yeah, well, the thing that's missing in this for me is the situation like Blade Runner, where it's taking a look at these huge philosophical questions of what is life, what is reality. I mean, because you have the robots, they have memories. That stuff, it's real to them. They are alive. So what actually defines your reality and your consciousness, your humanity, when you don't know the difference? Like perception is reality. So that
death,
because you cannot die, because these robots cannot die, at least that we know so far, it kind of jumps off of that.
I'd be curious what your biggest questions are about the show, because that would be a fun thing to have discussions about. Is maybe comment on the biggest question that you have for the show, and there are a million of them. For instance, for me, how do they possibly put them all back together every single night, or have these discussions where like she was clearly talking to him in the middle of the night on this last episode,
right?
But she also slept in this town and was back in this town in the morning.
Yeah,
but anyways.
Yeah,
those
how,
are weird.
How do they have a massacre where it's like 20 people die in every scene, and then it's like you go back to the place where they fix them up, and
put
there's
them
just
together
one guy they're working on, and
how much does it cost?
Yeah,
to get in there?
Yeah,
I think they said that.
There wasn't they alluded to.
They have a group. They have a Groupon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
all right. Hey, that is it for today. They have Groupon for Westworld. Buy one, get one. And it's double the money if you want to be a black hat, though.
Hey, make sure you put your ranking. I want to know, like, 0 through 10.
Yep.
What do you rate it?
Peace.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.